to a new episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino. My name is Alexander from Virtual Latino's Customer Success Team, and I'm here today with Boanna from the Dominican Republic. She is working as a legal assistant for one of our clients, and she'll be talking with us a little bit about her experience overall. So, Boanna, thank you so much for joining us today. How have you been? It's been a while since we last met.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here, and thank you for the invite. I have been all right through the past days. I am completely delighted by my job, actually. It's been 3 months now since I have been working with him. And I also invite you to have a snack with me. This is Morisoñando from the Dominican Republic. It's orange and milk, some beverage. It's my favorite beverage from here. So I invite you to enjoy it with me.
That's pretty interesting because, as you know, I'm also from the DR. And actually in my family, and as I can see by sharing with you and other Dominicans, I know that there are like two versions. You also have the one with lemon. So it's interesting to say you went with the orange one. That's the one I also like the most. And recently, it came to my attention that people are doing coconut mix with lemon. I don't know if you have tried that, but I would suggest for you to do it. It's actually very good. And it's very easy to make. You just need the coconut milk and some lemon. And that is pretty much
it. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll definitely try it.
No, not a problem. Here on my end, I just have some, this is like a Frappuccino thing. I'm not really like a fancy coffee person, but I decided to try it since it was referred to me by a friend. Moving on a little bit more into your day-to-day, I wanted to ask you, since you're working remotely now, how was your experience moving? If you worked at an office before, how was your experience moving to working remotely? How did that
Actually, my last job was office-based, and I had to commute to the office. So right now, this is a real good benefit from working virtually, because actually you don't have to commute, you don't need traffic, you don't have to undergo all of that stress that when I go out, it's just something I don't like, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a good benefit because you can get like a better work-life balance, and you have better management of your time. So it's actually a great opportunity working virtually. I really like it. I really enjoy it.
That's great to know. I was actually going to ask you a little bit about that as well. If you had any particular perks that you enjoyed from working remotely versus working at an office. And it's also very interesting that you mentioned the traffic, because I would think that's probably the one that most people go for whenever I ask that question, that they like the fact that you get a lot of time back that they used to have to use for traveling back and forth from work. And here in the Dominican Republic, that as you mentioned, when you have to go out, it's very hectic. There are probably too many cars for the amount of people that we have and the infrastructure that we have. So it's always very chaotic. And I do remember that, at least for me, when I worked in an office, I used to waste maybe 2-3 hours just going back and forth from work. So if I needed to do something else during a regular day, it was very difficult. So I'm glad that you've been able to also enjoy that benefit that comes from working remotely, right? But talking about benefits, would there be anything that maybe you miss from working at an office? Since I'm sure that it's not just the good things that you're enjoying.
Well, actually, before I mention the negative part of it, I would like to mention another perk, perhaps. It's having a later breakfast. I have the chance to have breakfast with my dad and either my mom. So that's another good perk. The disadvantage is maybe because I would like to have a bigger connection with my coworkers. And you normally have that when you have contact hand by hand with that person. So that would be maybe the only disadvantage I see of it.
No, I can definitely understand that. At least when I started working remotely, I also experienced the same issue, mainly because I was pretty much alone at home. I did create my workspace within one of the rooms that we have at the apartment I live at. But it was I did struggle quite a bit at the start because I used to spend like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours alone just working. That was mainly because my wife did have to still keep going at her to her office, keep working that way. But later she was able to move also to a remote job. So now that's pretty much the main way that we both manage that social part, since as humans is also something that we need. So it's a mix of that, and at least utilizing the weekends to visit the family and things like that to keep in touch, right? So I can definitely understand what you mean in that regard. So how did you come to find Virtual Latinos? How did that process go for you?
Actually, it was I was searching for jobs while I was a student. Since I graduated last May, I was looking for opportunities for working back in December 2021. But I was actually accepted to Virtual Latinos on a short period of time after, and I currently I came to know about Virtual Latinos because I was doing that web search. And I went onto the website and I actually went on reading everything, and I really liked what I saw. So I immediately went ahead and I updated my curriculum vitae, and I went up and uploaded my application, and I'm here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that since it was so fast in your case, it pretty much blurred. Like from the moment you sent the application to the moment you started working, and pretty much up until now. But I wanted to also ask you, did you when you found that the website or maybe an advertisement, did you have any hesitation when you found that information or anything like that, or did you just go for it?
The website gave me a lot of trustworthiness because I could see the actual people who worked at the company. You could see pictures of the people who worked there, and also you can find all of the information there, like any frequently asked questions that you could come with during your process of application. It's actually already there, and I went ahead before applicating my application. I went and read everything. So that was a great advantage. And also I really appreciated that part because you can find the information, and if you have any doubts or questions before or during your application process, the Virtual Latino staff is just delightful. I am really grateful for all of the help that I have been provided with.
I also wanted to ask you then, would there be any tips that you would provide to anybody who is starting out, who might be hesitating about doing that jump from going at a regular work office to working remotely, or maybe even to yourself from the past?
Yes, actually, I would like to, regards of this being a really good opportunity from you working online, I would really recommend having some or equipping yourself, for example, with a laptop stand, so you are perfectly angled with your head and also your back, so it doesn't hurt you. For example, buying also some equipment as a mouse pad or, for example, keyboard. And I have here an ergonomic mouse. I don't know if you can see it here. So this actually helps you with it actually helps you with the canal, so it doesn't you don't harm your body perhaps. Also, I would recommend having a good internet speed so you can go through your workday smoothly and you don't have any interruptions. Because if you have any interruptions, then you would have to go more hours during the day because you still have to do your tasks, right?
Yeah, to make it back up.
But after that, well, I also have a power bank. It's here. It charges my laptop whenever there's no electricity at my house. And I also use it for the internet, for the modem.
Hey, thank you so much for all of those tips. I actually agree with everything. Pretty much the fact that you have to have the equipment needed to be able to work, and also to have the options in cases where things could happen. Since you're working as a legal assistant, how does the usual day look like for you? What is a day in the life of Boanna as a legal assistant?
Oh, that's a great question, Alexander. Actually, I get tasks from the team I worked on in the legal team. Mm-hmm. As legal assistant, I do tasks such as following up my clients for their documents and also marking appointments for them with when they have to drop off appointments or either sign any forms that we have to submit to the government, perhaps, or any processes they have to undergo. Also, I eventually do translations since I also have experience with translations. I go with any document applicable for free translation and such as, for example, notes, medical notes, or birth certificates, since they already have their stamp. So that's something I am allowed to do, and I really enjoy it. So I would eventually like to certify myself as a translator because of what I have been doing. Yeah, basically, that's what I do. And also I have continuous communication with my coworkers. So that is something that you should essentially look for when you work as a virtual assistant, because you have to feel as if you are part of the team, and also you have to help your coworkers know that you would be there if they need any help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is definitely also a great tip. Communication, we always mention it. Communication is key for this kind of work, mainly due to the fact that you're in different countries and you don't have the other person right next to you in case you have questions. So it's always good to have to make them feel that you're there, as you mentioned, and also for you to feel that they're there if you have questions. So that's always something to work out whenever you're working with a client. So thank you so much for mentioning that as well. I just wanted to ask you one more thing. Is there any way in which working with Virtual Latinos you think has changed your life?
It has actually changed my life because as I had mentioned during my application process, I used to live in Mexico, and now I have I was going through the difficult decision of maybe having to stay in Mexico or getting a job elsewhere. And Virtual Latinos have given me the excellent opportunity of actually coming back to the Dominican Republic and living with my family, and also like making up for the lost time I had when I had to go study over there. So that's what I really liked about the opportunity I have given by Virtual Latinos.
Hey, that's actually great to know. I'm sure it was a very tough decision, but I'm glad you were able to come back to your family by being able to find this opportunity via us. I'm truly glad that we had been able to help you in that regard. So thank you for actually letting us know of that. I did know about the move from Mexico to the DR since we had spoken about that, but I didn't know that you felt this way about it. So that's actually very great. Well, that I would think would cover pretty much everything. As I mentioned, if you don't really think that I missed any questions, there was nothing else you expected me to ask.
For the moment, no. If you would like to ask me any questions, I would gladly answer. But for the moment, I think that's all right too. Thank
Awesome.
you so much for the opportunity of
No. Thank you. Thank you, Boanna, for coming in here today, for signing up for the interview, for sharing all of your thoughts in regards to your experience. As I mentioned, this is going to be great for anybody who might be hesitating, who might not know how to start working remotely. So this will be a great help. Thank you so much for your time.
Anytime, really. I really hope this talk has been of inspiration for other people who might want to do their application for Virtual Latinos. And there's no hesitation. Like, go for it. Go for it.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much once again. And well, thanks to everybody who watched this episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino. This was Alexander from the Customer Success Team with Boanna, legal assistant from our community. Remember to subscribe and like this video so you can receive notifications for the next one. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.